I hope I've made this case interesting for you. The biographer of the novelist Josephine Herbst wrote about this case that it is one of the greatest miasmas in American politics, and there is no one who has been involved with it, either as actor or scholar, who has not in some measure been harmed. There are no arguments which have not been shaken. There is no evidence which has not been obfuscated. There are no sentences, either uttered or written, that have not been parsed into nonsense. So why do people, or I, keep coming back to it? Several reasons. The case was an important event in American history. It was the overture to the McCarthy era. It brings into sharp relief several important themes of 20th century American history. The fatal attraction of extreme leftism to many intellectuals in the 30s, and in most cases their painful disillusionment, their recovery. The split in our country between the top people who have all the panache and the great silent majority who turn out to have more common sense. And of course, the great struggle between freedom and totalitarianism. Second, just as a story, I think this case is worthy of Arthur Conan Doyle or Agatha Christie, with the added improvement that it all actually happened. Many of the most fascinating figures of mid-century America played large roles in the case or had walk-on parts. Roosevelt, Truman, Nixon, Dean Acheson, John Foster Dulles, J. Edgar Hoover, many acting in ways that are different from their thumbnail stereotype images. One journalist, I think it was Alistair Cook, wrote that even the minor characters in this case contained the raw material for a shelf of unwritten novels by Proust, Dickens, Henry James, Kafka, Conrad, and Kessler. Third, if you're a lawyer and you've ever been involved in planning or carrying out strategy in a complicated case where both sides have great strengths and great weaknesses, this case is a feast, because you have superb lawyers at the top of their form on both sides, and you had several trials, and you see how the same facts are emphasized and de-emphasized, and wonderful examples of courtroom advocacy. And finally, and most enduringly for me, there is the battle between the two men, which Professor Younger said has a kind of Shakespearean intensity to it. And I think this continues to fascinate at a deep level because maybe each of us has within himself something of Hiss and something of Chambers. Hiss is the face we like to see when we look in the mirror in the morning, the tightly wrapped careerist with the perfect resume and every hair in place, the man who's never made a mistake, the brain or the ego, if you will. And Chambers is the heart and soul, the messy seeker after truth, even about the dark and sinful past, willing to wallow in great issues of right and wrong and demanding impolitely that the right be done and the truth be told no matter what the cost. And Chambers tells us that we all make mistakes, probably very big ones, but if we face up to them and try to atone for them, we may walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but we may ultimately save ourselves and maybe make the world better. And the conflict between these two men, between Hiss's goody two-shoes pose and comforting lies and Chambers' discomforting and messy honesty, I think will continue to fascinate as long as human nature feels the contradictory tugs between what we'd like to be and what we are, between what should be and what is. Thank you.